this weekend has been different for me. It's been unique. And let me tell you why. Because I have learned something this weekend. And we're constantly learning, we're constantly updating ourselves, and we're evaluating ourselves as well. And if you're not doing that, you're not developing anyway. And let me tell you one thing that I've learned this weekend. And it's been an amazing journey this weekend, because what I've figured out is how much of character that I've built over the years, and how has this happened. And I had to think through like how it happened, and go back a few steps and understand that, going through my journey, growing up in an urban environment. Like, I grew up in one of the roughest environments you could think of. We went through struggles, we went through shit, man. I'm telling you, like, there was guns, there was violence, there was drugs, there was all sorts in my neighborhood. I grew up in a neighborhood in Leeds, one of the roughest neighborhoods in Leeds. When I was 9-10 years old, there was guys coming around shooting guns, blazing guns around the corner, bullets going past me. I could have been dead at any point. That's the sort of environment I was in. When I was a teenager, or when I became a teenager, I started working. When I became a teenager, I started working. I started my working career at an early age. I got sent back home. I got sent to Bangladesh when I was 11, right? And I came back when I was 13. As soon as I come back, my mom sent me to work. And that is when I first had my first job and I'm not shy about it, I was a dishwasher. I was working in the kitchen because that's the only job I could get at the time. So that's how I developed. Even like when I became a waiter, I spoke to customers, I spoke to them, and I used to have like fun engaging with these customers. And that's when I learned to even speak, and I was out my comfort zone for a bit because I was like a kid from the hood then. And then I had to develop and build myself. Then I went into the corporate zone when I was 18 at Empower, and I stuck by it because I landed the job and I wanted to be there forever, and I loved it. It was the best experience, the best job I ever had, and the reason why I stuck by it was because of the enhanced development that they provided for me. They was putting me on like 4 or 5 courses a year, and those courses are expensive, believe me or not, they're expensive. And then not only that, I was working 2-3 jobs. Even when I was there, I was working part-time and on other jobs. I was a security guard once, I was a PC World salesman once. So I did all of that. I built my work experience for 10 years. 10 years, I tell you. I worked hard for 10 years, built my career, and I also, in between that 10 years, I also had a business. And if we start from there, from the age of 18, 10 years, I was 28. I was 28 by the time I left Empower. I was 28, and I had all this experience. And prior to that, 5 years before that, I started my working life, my working career at the age of 13, washing dishes part-time. On a weekend, I used to go to, I don't even want to tell you where, because if you're a Bengali, or if you're from this culture, you will know how we do. Back then, the people of my area especially, we all were working part-time back then. And that was fortunate for us because having the traditional background, we would always have that sort of work, and that helped us, and it helped us stay off the streets as well, and it helped us build ourselves, build that momentum. And I told a guy this weekend that, look, mate, do you know how many years work experience I've got? And he was like, you're too young. I'm like, what do you mean I'm too young? I got 20 years worth of work experience. I'm 33 now, and I got 20 years worth of work experience. He couldn't believe it. He's like, nah, you can't. You're too young. I said, mate, I started working when I was 13. I was a waiter when I was 14. So just think of it, and then how much, like I was already building myself up from then. So it hasn't, and Not only that, what I'm trying to say is I've had other character build in between that. What is this character build? The character build is, I want to tell you about the character build. And what is character build? And I'm a prime example of building character and how I've developed my character build, you know? And sometimes I go into different character modes. And listen, a lot of people, they have to pay for character build. And what do I mean by that? They have to go through acting school. They have to go through arts and performance and all of this just to build character. And let me tell you, a guy like me, I come from a diverse background, you know. I was born outside this country. We speak many other languages. I speak 4 languages in total. You know, every single language has a variation even, yeah? From the tone to the grammars, to the wordings, to all this, you know. Certain grammar, vocabulary isn't even in the English dictionary in some languages that we use. So that's like, I have different characters for that even. So when I talk in those languages, I switch to those characters, you know. Then we have like, then we have like, as I grew up on the streets, shall I say, you know, like it was a rough environment, you know. And in the 90s, for those of you who grew up in the 90s, there were so many neighborhoods that were rough. It was challenging, you know. For a lot of us who were born in the 80s, we've gone through certain challenges, and you guys can relate to it, you know. Whoever was there, and the neighborhoods were not developed like they are today, you know. The world's changed now. It's improved. It's advanced, and over time, technology has taken over. There's so many things that's happened. But again, going to character, I'm a prime example of it. What is character build, and what else I've done with this character. And I'm a natural, because then when I worked in the professional environment, in the corporations, I built even my character there. I had to be professional. I had to adapt to the professional society, you know, and the social norms were different to the social norms what I'm used to, yeah. And even like when I was working as a worker in a restaurant, it was different, because even the culture is different, because what we do, like, you don't know, those bosses back then, they were bossy to the boss, you know. I can't even tell you how it was. So that's it. And now I had to go out, travel the world a bit, and find myself and reinvent myself as well, and put all these characters together and bring it into one and combine. And that's me now. Like I'm a combined, full out character now. This is me, you know. And I switch sometimes. Sometimes I switch between here and there, and depending on where I am, and if I'm dealing with a corporate client and stuff, then sometimes I'll switch back to being ultra professional and all of that. And I can do that because I've worked in corporate. I've had clients that are ultra professional, and that's what I'm talking about. And you can't like train to get this, because you have to build on experience. I've had that much experience, 20 years worth of work experience, man. I built it all through work, and now I'm sharing all this, and it's all right to have a variation of characters, and everybody will have a uniqueness about them as well, and you'll have a sense of different character. But anyway, come to the life coaching program, and we'll see. We'll work on that. And if you've got issues on figuring out your character, we build that, because it's important to find your true character and the best character of you, and that's what I want to leave you with. Thanks.